Hello all, welcome to my channel. Today my main topic is to discuss about the decorator, which is considered as a function in the Python. So let's dive straight in. I want to divide this particular tutorial into two parts. One is the basic explanation, the theoretical part, and the second one is about the live practical examples, why we have to use the decorator and what is the purpose about it. Okay, let's dive straight in. So, what are Python decorators? Okay, a decorator is just a function, right, that modifies the another function without any changing of its particular code. So, what happens usually is I have a function which is my own function. I have lot of properties in it. I have written lot of lines, right? For that function, I want to add a specific kind of rules which is usually a common ones, right? I want to add that into my own function. For that, usually in the olden days, usually you keep on adding that particular function, what it does inside our function. But here, what happens is using the decorator, we can just add a wrapper on top of it. So whatever the decorator has its properties, it will flow into our own function. And it is just taking the properties of the decorator function to our current present function which we have created by ourselves. And you can also go with this particular analogy if it keeps you simple. If suppose I have a box which is a larger box which can have many things in it, many toys in it, and there is another box which kind of contains a specific toys. If I want to store that whole small box into that big box, what you consider, if I say the big box, whatever the toy that you have in the small box is also in that particular big box. So which you can have that altogether property, you try to put it in one box and put it in a big box. Same thing, that's how this decorator works. So I have a function, I'm just trying to have the properties of another function used in the current function as a wrapper. Usually, this is used in many places for the logging, the performance measurement, and also even the authentication. And even if you want to add a start and end time of the particular function or particular process to know it, you can also add that. I also, just to have a beginner friendly explanation, I just want to display that how it basically helpful for us. Basically the function, the basic one of the functionality is always that instead of writing the same code again and again, you write a code, a sequence of steps in one function, and so that you can apply or use it in another functions. So the reusability of the code will become more natural. And what happens, the other thing also, you can keep the clean code and it's an organized code. Wherever you need this particular decorator, right, you can use it in that particular function. And for example, today I have a tens or 20 of functions which we have created ourselves. But if you have added a decorator to it, which to pass this particular properties over there, if something, a property you need to update in that function which belongs to that decorator, there is no need to go to the each function and change something. You will just modify that particular decorator and that's it. Whatever that particular decorator with the updated properties will flow it into that function. And the other main important thing also I just want to say is here you can also cache the result, right? Or also, as we spoke, it can also track the execution time, which helps us in depth to optimize that particular performance. And you also have to know this particular decorators have become so popular using in the web-based applications like Flask and Django. And there are other like things also where you can use it to basically to handle those securities and what are the responses, how you can format that. If it is JSON or XML, you can create a wrapper on top of it, which is a decorator to particularly extract those information from different file formats. The other main thing also, you can apply this particular decorator to another independent functions or even entire class, so that this availability of this decorator usage will make you enhance your programming performance. This is all about decorators. Since we have finished this particular theoretical part, let's dive into the practical ones. The first example which we want to see it is how can we write something called this manually wrapping a function, right, without using the decorators. For this, I'll just go with a particular normal function as an example, and I'll try to return it with saying a hello world, right? And now we have this function. What I want to do is I want to create a wrapper function that it implement a property on top of this return function. That's what I want to achieve. To do that, I'll just go with uppercase, which I want to do this uppercase decorator, and I'll just pass this name called function, which will be my argument, technically my function. And now I will have a wrapper, right? So in this wrapper, what I just want to do here is, if you see in this return statement, right, I want to pass a function which will flow from this uppercase decorator. So what I'll do, I'll just add this function, right? And after that, I just want to do the uppercase for all of them. So for all the string, I want to pass as a function. Then once it is done, I'll just return this wrapper, right? And now if I want to implement this wrapper on the greet, right, let me create a variable first, right? In this particular thing, I'll just go with uppercase decorator, and what is my function name? It is greet. Okay, and the basic expectation of this is, whenever I'm trying to run this particular thing, it has to go here, which is uppercase decorator, and this uppercase decorators needs an argument called function. So what I'm passing it here, I'm passing as a greet function, and this will flow inside this wrapper. This function will become my greet function, and what is that is returning from this greet function? It is hello world. I have a string called hello world, and it does the upper to that hello world string. Whatever the result that passed in the wrapper, we are flowing to this outer function and we are returning as the output. So the wrapper result will flow output, and the expectation is all should be in the uppercase. Perfect. So what do you see here is, we are trying to manually wrap a function, right, on the function which we want to append this. So this is our primary function, right? We want to wrap this particular property on top of this greet function. So this is how you can do it. Now, the second basic example is how can we use the decorators now? How does it actually work, right? As you know, a decorator is just a function, right, that takes another function as an argument and returns a new function. That's it, right? Then how we are trying to implement this? Okay, for this, I'll just start with def my decorator, right? And same thing, inside this, I want to pass a function. And for this also, we have a wrapper. Okay, inside this wrapper, there'll be nothing, empty. And to test it, I just want to see before function runs, and also after function runs. In between, I just want to pass this function, right? And what happens here is, so once when I'm trying to implement this decorator on top of my function, on my function which I have created, so it will print, it will go to this wrapper, it will try to print this before the function runs, right? And then it will execute this function whichever I'm passing as an argument, and then after that it will print after function runs. And once this is done, I'll just do this return wrapper, right? And this part is done. And now I just want to have a small function example, defer say hello. Okay, in this I'll just have nothing because I don't want to pass any arguments here. I'll just go with print hello. Okay, and now my basic thing is, I want to use the decorator here which will flow into this, right? So I want to add whatever the properties are here that should be included in the say hello. So for this, it's very easy. So I can just add @my_decorator, right? When I add this, whatever the properties that are here, it will be inherited here. And when I run it, example, the first thing we'll expect is the before function runs, and the function will execute whichever the function it is here, say hello, and then after the function runs. Let's try to execute this. Say score hello. It's a function. I'll have open and close and see. This is how it will print it. The first thing before function runs, then the function is here, it will try to execute that function, and after that it will go with an after function runs. This is how the basic decorator example will work.